Welcome to the deep dive. You're here because you want to get smart, fast, on topics that matter without getting lost in all the noise.
Exactly. Information overload is real.
It really is. So today, we're zeroing in, taking a focused look at something you might handle every single day, your notebook.
And specifically, the cover. We're exploring the, well, surprisingly complex world of leather materials used for notebook covers.
That's right. You've probably seen notebooks with all sorts of covers claiming to be leather, right? And we're going to unpack what those different types actually are.
Yeah, what makes them different,
Right.
what the benefits are, and, how you can figure out which one is maybe the right fit for you.
And our guide for this is an excerpt from a Guide to Leather Material notebook cover.
Our mission today is basically to distill the key info from that source for you.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning.
Yeah.
What actually makes a notebook a leather-covered notebook? I mean, it feels like more than just a cover, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. According to the guide, when you see a leather cover, it immediately signals something about quality, durability.
There's a feel to it, too.
Definitely. A tactile thing, right? Holding it feels different, maybe a bit luxurious even. It's not just about writing. And interestingly, the term leather itself, well, it covers a whole range of materials.
Okay, let's get into that range. The source breaks it there into four main categories. First, genuine leather.
Which itself splits into full grain and top grain.
Right. Then PU leather, bonded leather, and finally, vegan leather.
Yep, those are the big four.
So let's dive into genuine leather first, especially full grain and top grain. What makes those stand out? What's the lowdown there?
Well, genuine leather, especially full grain, it's really about its inherent quality, its robustness.
Okay.
Think of full grain like this. It's the very top layer of the hide, keeping all the natural grain, the imperfections, everything. That makes it incredibly strong.
And unique, I imagine.
Exactly. And it develops something really special over time, a patina.
Mm-hmm.
Like an old leather armchair or a favorite jacket. That rich, sort of burnished look,
Yeah.
that's the patina. It makes every piece totally individual. Now, top grain is similar, still high quality, but it's been sanded just a little.
To smooth it out.
Right, to remove some of those surface imperfections, so you get a more uniform look, but still very much that classic leather feel.
Right.
It's still very durable.
Okay, so if someone's thinking about getting a notebook with a full grain or top grain cover, what kind of uses are we talking about? Who typically goes for that?
Well, connecting this to the source, you often find these on like the real high-end stuff. Custom notebooks, luxury brands use them a lot.
Makes sense.
They're also big for corporate gifts when you want to make a real impression. Premium business notebooks, executive planners, things are meant to last,
Yeah, that tracks. You're not just buying something to scribble in. It feels more like an investment, something that's going to stick around and maybe even look better with age.
Precisely. Our source highlights that exceptional durability. Built to last for years, it says.
And that patina you mentioned, it's almost like the notebook sort of ages with you. It tells a story.
That's a huge part of the appeal, that unique aging process. Every little mark, every slight color shift just adds to its personality. It's something synthetics really struggle to replicate authentically.
All right, let's shift gears then. Let's talk about something quite different. PU leather, polyurethane leather. Now, the guide mentions it's sometimes called synthetic or even vegan leather in this context. Can you clarify that a bit?
Yeah, that's an important point about terminology. You will hear PU leather called vegan because, well, it doesn't use animal products.
Right? No animals involved.
But it's crucial to understand. PU leather is a specific kind of synthetic leather. It's made from polyurethane. Not all vegan leather is PU. There are other synthetics, and now plant-based options too.
Okay, got it.
So PU leather is designed to look and feel a bit like genuine leather, but it's, generally more affordable. It's often lighter too and easier to maintain.
Okay, so it might give a similar look, but the actual material and so some of the properties are going to be different. Where do we typically see PU leather covers popping up?
Well, because it's more budget-friendly, PU is a really popular choice for custom notebooks if you're working with, say, a mid-range budget. And businesses doing bulk orders. They often go for PU to keep costs down while still getting that leather-ish look.
Makes sense for large quantities. And what are the specific upsides? Why choose PU in those cases?
The source points to a few key advantages.
Okay.
Cost is definitely number one. You get that leather look without the genuine leather price tag.
Big draw.
And maintenance. It's pretty easy to care for, tends to resist stains, easy to just wipe clean. Plus, Because it's manufactured, you get a huge variety. Colors, patterns, different finishes, tons of design flexibility.
That versatility sounds really useful, especially for businesses wanting their notebooks to match their brand, maybe stand out a bit.
Exactly. Branding options are wide open.
Okay, moving on. Next up is bonded leather. The name itself kind of suggests how it's made from leather scraps, you mentioned.
Yes, exactly. What's interesting here is it's about using leftover bits. Bonded leather takes leather fibers and scraps leftovers from making genuine leather goods and basically bonds them together.
How? Like glue.
Yeah, using an adhesive, usually polyurethane or latex. The result looks like leather, but, and this is important, it's generally less durable than genuine leather.
Right.
Think of it maybe like particle board versus solid wood. It can look similar, but the structure isn't as strong.
So practically speaking, where does bonded leather fit in? What kind of notebooks use it?
Our guide positions it as another economical option for when you want that leather look, but without the premium cost of genuine.
So similar niche to PU in some ways?
Kind of, but specifically using actual leather fibers. It's often used for really large-scale production where the budget is the main driver. It's a compromise, really, between cost and appearance.
And the main advantages boil down to that. Affordability for mass production.
Pretty much, yeah. That's its main appeal. It makes it possible to produce a large number of notebooks that feel somewhat like leather, visually at least, without breaking the bank.
Even if they might not wear quite as well long term.
Right. You get the look, but maybe not the same longevity as genuine.
Okay. And that brings us to the last category, vegan leather. Now, we touched on PU sometimes being called vegan, but the source also mentions plant-based stuff. Tell us more about the wider world of vegan leather.
Yeah, this is where ethics and the environment really come to the forefront. Vegan leather is basically any material that mimics leather, but isn't made from animal hides.
Okay.
So, yes, that includes synthetics like PVC and PU, which we discussed. But the really exciting area is the growth in plant-based alternatives.
Like what?
We're seeing materials made from apple skins, pineapple leaf fibers, Pinatex grape skins from wine production, cork, mushroom leather, even bamboo fibers. It's a rapidly innovating space.
Wow.
And the core principle behind all of them is that they offer a cruelty-free alternative.
So for businesses or individuals choosing vegan leather, what's the main motivation? Where do these notebooks tend to show up?
The big driver is usually a commitment to ethical production and environmental responsibility. You see eco-conscious businesses, brands that really want their products to align with sustainable values, they gravitate towards vegan leather.
Right, it sends a message.
Exactly. It allows them to offer something that resonates with consumers who share those same priorities about animal welfare and the planet.
And besides the ethics, are there other plus points for vegan leather?
Absolutely. The source highlights the environmental angle, sustainability, cruelty-free, but also don't underestimate durability.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe in the past some non-animal leathers weren't as tough, but material science has come a long way. High-quality vegan leathers today can be surprisingly durable and wear-resistant.
Good to know.
Plus, like PU, you often get a really wide variety of textures, colors, and finishes. Lots of design freedom again.
So we've kind of toured the four main types now. If we zoom out a bit, what are the general sort of overarching benefits of choosing any kind of leather-covered notebook? What do they bring to the table overall?
That's a good way to think about it. What unites them? Well, first, there's that undeniable touch of luxury, that premium feel.
Yeah, it feels different.
Right. Leather, in most forms, conveys sophistication, quality.
Yeah.
That can be valuable, whether it's for your personal image or making a professional statement.
Definitely. That tactile quality we mentioned earlier, it feels substantial.
Exactly. Second, durability is often a key factor, especially with genuine leather, which, as we said, can last for years of daily use. Third, personalization. Leather usually takes embossing or debossing really well. Logos, names, unique designs makes them great for gifts or branded items.
Yeah, very customizable.
And finally, as we saw with bonded and particularly vegan leather, you now have options that address sustainability and ethics. There's a wider range of values you can align with.
Okay, so there are lots of different types, lots of potential benefits. How does someone actually choose? If you need a notebook cover, what are the key things to weigh out?
Our guide lays out the crucial factors pretty clearly. First, and maybe most obvious, is the leather type itself. That often comes down to budget versus the quality and longevity you need.
So cost versus how long you want it to last and how premium you want it to feel.
Basically, yes. Genuine is top-tier price and durability. PU and bonded are more budget-friendly. Vegan addresses those ethical points with varying price and durability depending on the specific material.
Okay, budget's a big one. What else?
Customization needs. Are you planning intricate designs? Embossing. Some material handle that better than others.
Right.
So then think about usage. How durable does it really need to be? Is it for rugged daily use carried everywhere? Or more for occasional notes, maybe a promotional giveaway?
Daily driver versus desk accessory.
Exactly. And finally, especially for businesses, think about brand alignment. If your brand shouts sustainability, then maybe vegan leather is the only real choice, you know?
That makes perfect sense. Aligning the product with the company's values.
Precisely.
The source material also gives a nod to Lion Paper, mentioning they're a notebook manufacturer with connections to different leather suppliers. So it sounds like if this all feels a bit much, companies like that could help navigate the choices.
That seems to be the implication, yeah. They highlight their experience and network in the leather industry, suggesting they can be a resource if you're looking to create custom notebooks and need some guidance picking the right material.
Good to have resources like that.
Hello.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what are the absolute core takeaways? What should listeners really remember about leather notebook covers?
I think the main thing is understanding those 4 distinct categories we discussed. Genuine leather, think durability, that unique patina. PU leather, versatile, cost-effective synthetic. Bonded leather, the budget-friendly leather scrap option. And vegan leather, the ethical, eco-conscious choice, covering both synthetics and plant-based materials.
4 distinct options, each with its own profile.
Right. Each has its own characteristics, its own pros and cons, making it suitable for different needs, different budgets.
And the crucial thing when you're making that choice...
It really just boils down to weighing those key factors.
Yeah.
Your budget, the quality level you're aiming for, your brand values, particularly around sustainability, and ultimately what you're actually going to use the notebook for.
Budget, quality, values, use.
Get clear on those, and you'll be well on your way to picking the right material for you.
This has been really insightful. It's amazing how much goes into something as seemingly simple as a notebook cover.
It really is quite a world unto itself.
Okay, so for our final thought for you, the listener, to mull over. Thinking about this whole spectrum of materials we've discussed, from that rich, full-grain leather feel to the conscious choice behind a vegan option, what do you think your choice of notebook cover says? About you, or perhaps about your brand? Is it just about function, or is there a deeper message carried in the material itself? Something to ponder next time you pick up your notebook. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.